On to Europe now. The political landscape there is teetering on the edge of chaos. Let's start off with France, where it's a horrible case of deja vu. The country once again finds itself dealing with a major political crisis. It's in political shambles, and the French President Emmanuel Macron faces growing calls to step down. On Wednesday, an alliance between far-right and far-left lawmakers toppled the French Prime Minister Michel Barnier. While France has seen no confidence votes before, this was reportedly a historic moment. No government has lost such a vote since 1962. Barnier is now, in fact, the shortest-serving Prime Minister in the history of France since the founding of its Fifth Republic in 1958. You see, Barnier gambled on bypassing a vote to push through a social security financing bill. And he failed, and how? The opposition labelled the move as an overreach of power. And what was the result? A political vacuum that threatens to engulf France, Europe's second largest economy, with no fresh parliamentary elections allowed within a year of the last. Macron reportedly faces an uphill battle. His delayed selection of Barnier after June's election already showcased his indecision. And now the hunt for a replacement begins, but the clock is ticking. In fact, as per reports, France has one of the worst budget imbalances in Europe. And combined with its political situation, it has plunged the country deeper into crisis. But you see, one thing that perhaps helps France, but doesn't help Europe at large, is that it is not the only one in a mess. Across the border, Germany, Europe's largest economy, faces its own collapse in governance. The three-party coalition, led by the Chancellor Olaf Scholz, disintegrated last month. What was the cause? Internal discord over fiscal policy. Scholz and his Liberal Finance Minister, Christian Lindner, reportedly clashed on spending priorities, leaving the government in a crisis. And what was the fallout? Germany now stumbles into early elections slated for February. And until then, the country remains directionless in a way, with no concrete plan for tackling its growing budget deficit. Also, economically, Germany is not doing well. As per reports, the European Commission predicts a meager 0.7% growth for the country in 2025, at a time when the EU desperately needs leadership or direction. The lack of it from both France and Germany is putting the entire continent under threat. And then there's the UK, of course. While Keir Starmer's Labour government has not collapsed per se, its troubles are far from over. You see, in just 5 months as Prime Minister, Starmer has faced relentless scrutiny, with his popularity ratings within the UK standing at -30 as per some surveys. Today, he delivered a speech outlining 6 ambitious goals for his administration: higher living standards, a massive housing push, safer streets, better education, clean energy by 2030, and a revitalized NHS. But as per reports, the speech missed out on one of the most pressing issues: immigration. And you see, opposition leaders wasted no time exploiting this oversight. Conservative Party leader Kemi Badenoch reportedly accused Starmer of sidestepping a critical challenge, while Reform's Nigel Farage dismissed the plan altogether, reportedly calling it a guaranteed recipe for economic disaster. The omission raises crucial questions about whether Starmer can actually truly address the complexities of Britain, or if his government, like France and Germany, also risks crumbling under pressure. So broadly speaking, Europe faces a major storm. Political vacuums in France and Germany reportedly paralyzed the EU's ability to act decisively. Meanwhile, external pressures are only mounting. As per reports, the EU is trying to distance itself from China to shield its individual and collective economies. In Washington, Donald Trump's promise to impose steep tariffs on European goods reportedly threatened to worsen an already fragile trade scenario. Add to that the lingering shadow of Russian aggression and fears of a diminished NATO commitment from the United States, and the continent's challenges seem enormous. Europe is clearly at a major crossroads. The lack of cohesive leadership, coupled with mounting political and economic challenges, after all, is a dangerous mix. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.